The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Tuesday, the 18th day of January 2022. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Sherry Vanderpool, and Leanna Lambert will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sherry, how are you today?
I am doing well. Excited for this week because I've already, had a break yesterday and all of that good stuff.
So you feel energized?
Yes, and that's what melatonin does.
Well, okay, so melatonin's a drug, right? Or a pill. Not a drug, a pill. But it's something, it's medicine to help you. Lee, I'm sorry in the conversation this early. I didn't mean that. But I want to know how your weekend was as well. It was a long one. So yeah. Go ahead.
It was a good weekend. I am feeling very relaxed this morning. I am feeling energetic and ready for a good day. For everyone in Bermuda, we felt that torrential downpour, which felt like a hurricane yesterday. But
wow.
I'm okay with it because I was inside.
She has this thing about reading my mind, because I was going to ask you, was it a hurricane last night? Because it was
really.
It was intense to the point where flights were canceled yesterday. Like, yeah,
it was a bit different. I'm not trying to start trouble this early. I'm not. Well, I mean, I am, but
yes,
it took me back to making me feel like I was in the Bermuda Regiment with that kind of weather yesterday. We used to do boot camp in this kind of weather, and I'm like, what's really going on out here? Like, what is this torturous stuff? Yeah, I think I had what's it called? PTSD.
PTSD. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I had PTSD.
And we had snow.
Oh, you did in Atlanta?
Yeah, we had some snow not yesterday, Sunday. So it was, I have to put it on my status or share it with the group. But yeah, it was, so it was nice. I was out there like, because of course it's not going to stick, right?
But you all didn't get stuck on the highway because, in Atlanta, you all don't know how to handle snow. Like what was it, 8 years ago?
Yeah, no, you're right. We shut down, and people think that it's not a big deal, but we're not in New Jersey or New York where you have snow plows or whatever. You stay in your house.
Real snow days.
One last question before you go back and get ready for your news, Lee. How did you celebrate your mom's birthday? Because we still had people over the weekend saying happy birthday, Kami, under the Daily Hour. So did you all have a party?
Yeah, so not a party per se. Obviously, COVID has ruined birthdays for those born in like January through like April for the last 2 years. Like, I really feel for people who've been celebrating in the beginning part of the year or even at the end of the year, because it's like the wave comes and everything is shut. So anyway, she ended up having just a few friends and family members over the house on Friday evening, and they got a chance. They ordered seafood boils, which was amazing. I have to shout out to Claw, Bermuda.
Never heard of them, but I want some.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, and they are amazing. We had a chance to have one on New Year's Eve, and my mom was interested in trying it out. So yeah, they had a good time. Just intimate, small, and just a celebration of life. It was good.
Well, I'm happy. I'm happy about that, and sorry that I didn't receive my invite in time. I'll leave it at that.
You can take that out with her.
Levy, I'll see you in a bit, sister.
All right.
All righty. She's good people, folks. She is good people. Leanna will be back with the news, folks. She's not going for the day. I know some of you are like, oh, why she's going already? No, she'll be back. She'll be back. But no, I must say, and I want to give major props as well. So obviously, back from my mom's service, I'm in Bermuda, and you know, my mother didn't want a viewing, so we had a private viewing for just her siblings and family. And I will say, you know, I followed my nana everywhere when I was young, so I would go help her clean offices as a second job. And so I spent a lot of time in, because my nana seemed to know everybody that was at Augustus when I was young. Everybody that was in the pit. She was one of those nanas. I don't know if that was just a little person name or a Nana Hartman thing. So I was very familiar with, you know, bodies and whatnot. And I said to Mr. Augustus, you know, you guys done a job well done. I mean, my mom looked so peaceful, so good. I've seen times where, you know, people did not look themselves, and I was very happy. It gave me peace seeing my mom looking so peaceful. So I know some of you all might be like, that's creepy, but that's my closure that I needed. And you know, anyone who is going through grief or whatnot, or dealing with something like that, it was I loved, you know, the fact that I got to see my mom. And yeah, props to Augustus. You've done a good job. And I hope I don't have to see you all anytime soon. But that said, we do have, let's get back to the show. So good morning, everyone. And thanks for making us part of your daily routine. Another good one today as Sean Simmons, better known as Mr. Fotogenik, is stopping by for a conversation.
Excited.
The Daily Play is a remember when. So a little history question for Sherry. Let's just say yesterday was the birthday of the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, all right.
I'll leave it at that. Get
Okay.
your thinking cap on. I'm also, folks,
I do have it on.
Don't forget the giveaway. If you forget how it works, you have to tune into every episode to hear what letter is being given at a different time each day. Use each letter to determine the words that make up the phrase. Once you believe you've guessed correctly, go to our website, thedailyhour.com, fill out the contact us form with your name, email, and answer where it says message. Please note you must be a subscriber on our website to be eligible to win the $500 prize. We have had quite a few people to date over the weekend that have guessed the correct answer. I'm not saying people are cheating. I'm saying people have guessed it. This means that people are loyal parts of our audience and they've tuned in. So I'm not going to tell you, but we're going to give two letters today. And on that note, we've got to jump into today's conversation because we have to make sure we have enough time to laugh with Mr. Fotogenik a bit later.
Please.
So today I want to say this, folks. We look at a lot that's going on in the community, right? And you know, I know a lot of people virtually attended the funeral of the late Saji Bascom. I heard it was quite a service, and the former Colonel Edward Lamb delivered what we talk about on this show pretty much every day, but he said it at a service and was heard by a lot of people. But we can't have another episode without stating, you know, we are sometimes our worst enemy. And, you know, yes, there are other mechanisms that contribute to our living situation, but we can't use that as an excuse. We have to find the best of ourselves within our circumstances to kind of get the best out of life. So I just want to touch on that. But on the other side, we want to talk about jury duty today. And one of the reasons is, you know, it was this post that I saw on Twitter, and Phil says it wasn't him, but I swear somebody put it on Phil and Sherry probably put the best information when it comes to this stuff in the group, right? So there's one of them that put it. I'm going to blame
that was probably Phil. Oh, that was probably Phil. Mine tend to be funny, silly stuff at times.
But he said he didn't. But you know, but it was from a lawyer in the US, and this is very important. And I really hope that everyone really understands the importance of what I'm about to talk about. So this lawyer he tweeted, "Dear Black people, if you are summoned for jury duty, please do everything in your power to stay on the jury. As lawyers, we need you." Someone replied, said, bleeping this. "It literally takes one strong-willed juror to curtail or get other jurors to understand the scope and depth of a case. It's possible to achieve justice and accountability on the opposite end by playing their game." Now, I feel this conversation is important because over the years, Bermuda since 2009 has had just a number of murders, right?
Yeah.
We've had Charles Richardson on the show where I said that I feel like Bermuda needs an innocent project. I still disagree with Charles. When I asked Charles, I said, "Do we need an innocent project?" And he said, "No, most murders or trials that go to jury and the person's convicted are usually right." I'm not buying that from Charles Richardson for this simple reason. I don't care about most cases. I care about all cases. We don't have, if there's one case, right, one where a person shouldn't be there, my issue is not letting someone off, but it's convicting the right people. And there was a particular case that bothered me for years because I was told by a journalist that the jury was all white. This is Bermuda. This is Bermuda. There is never a case where a jury should be all white in Bermuda, right? So I say to the audience, the discussion this morning is very simple. What are your thoughts on serving on a jury? What are your thoughts on serving on a jury? All right, to me, now, folks, you knew I fought hard against conscription, right? I fought hard against conscription. I do not agree with forced labor, but jury duty doesn't discriminate as far as I know. Conscription did. So what are your thoughts on serving on a jury? Sherry, what are your thoughts?
Well, thank you for sparking my thoughts, probably about 9:30, 10 o'clock last night. And that's the one thing people don't know. We are constantly in communication about different things. My thoughts are, thanks for bringing this forward, Jamal, in regards to discussion, because I don't think people think past what it is that is right there in front of them or what role you can play in helping the justice system in regards to, our people. I didn't think about the juror part because I don't think people have made that something that's something we should do. It goes back to even being registered as a voter. And people don't understand the trickle-down effect. If you're not registered as a voter, you can't be called to jury. And what was being fought for many years for Black people to not be voters. Hence, then it trickles down into the justice system, and we're not represented well. So for me, I would love to have been called as a juror, but I also know as a social worker, they'll probably strike me. What's your profession? What you've been doing for 20 plus years? No. But I would love to be a part of it, but I do think it's scary in that sense too. You know what I mean? Because you want to make sure that you are doing the right thing. But I do believe that our representation is definitely needed. It's necessary. And for young people now, there's 18 and over, go and register to vote so you can be a part of helping others.
See, I'm so happy that you said that, because as Larry and I were discussing what the question should be today last night, it was actually going to be voting, right? Now, people like Larry and myself don't agree with the whole idea of voting. We don't agree that voting necessarily has changed our circumstance. We actually were part of a movement that was basically telling people not to vote. However, what Shara is saying, I wholeheartedly agree with. There's more than the vote. And so the reason we chose jury duty is because part of registering to vote is so that you can be called to the jury, at least in the US. So the purpose and why we went with this is letting people know that we have to control or have some sort of input in how our country, our community, our society is operating and running. And I want to go to a comment by James Birch. He says, lawyers and judges can easily discriminate on who makes it onto a jury. And this James, they can't. Well, they argue about who's going to serve on the jury. But
Right.
guess what, James? The more of us that say yes and try to be on there, the more that knows they give people like us, the more we have a case that it was discrimination. It's discrimination. If it's just one or two of us that answer the call, then we don't want. I guess the purpose is we don't want to make it easy for them. Traveling Trotty says, I have never been called for jury duty. I haven't either, to be honest. So Sean Smith says, if I am called, I will service twice. Traveling Trotty goes on to say, how random is the selection process when I know enough people who have been called twice?
So I would be interested in just the process of it all then, Jamal. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research into, how often and who gets called, because I don't even feel like anybody in my age bracket that I know of and know that people have registered to vote and everything have been like, oh, I can't do this because I'm on jury duty. It's very few. Very interesting.
I don't think I know but one person who's been called for jury duty, and I don't think they got selected. Nicole Walker says, I have no problem with jury duty and want to serve, but have never been selected. I know people that have been selected multiple times. Another one. Rick Olson says, I've never been called. If I do get called, I hope it's a short case for selfish reasons. I've heard that before, Ms. Dawes, and I've heard that. James Burt says, I'll serve if called. Karen Edwards Simmons for you, Sherry.
I would have served on jury, but every time I was called 3 times, I was dismissed by the lawyers because when asked as a former teacher. So because she was a teacher, she got dismissed. But luckily you got called, Karen.
I think, and again, just back to the original thing, it came from a lawyer who was pleading with people on Twitter in the US, Black people in particular, to accept the call for jury duty. We so often hear people talking about register to vote, make sure you vote, but we never hear them talk about jury duty. There was a case recently in Georgia where 3 men were convicted of the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. If I'm not mistaken, there was only one Black juror.
Possibly.
And, I believe that was the case, where there was only one Black juror. And, who's to say that there wouldn't have been others and people didn't reject it? So we must, fairness doesn't just come from our legislators. It actually could come from our peers, but that's only if we accept the call. Angeline Butler, Sherry.
I have never been called to jury duty, and I really don't wish to be. Wish to be because I am transparent. I already have underlying biases towards certain crimes, etc.
Well, I'll tell you, if I'm honest, I won't be accepted on a jury. If I'm honest, I can agree with her. So I would actually have to lie unless my mentality changes. Why? Because personally, I don't agree with the death penalty. So if this was a case in the U.S., my bias wouldn't allow me to serve. In Bermuda, I don't necessarily know the exact criteria, but in the US, if it's a death penalty case and you disagree with it, they can dismiss you from that jury.
And a lot of the crimes I feel of what's going on today, me personally, is you have a lot of young Black men that are arrested and being held. I personally didn't feel like all the time that it is the person that has done the crime, yet they are reluctant in speaking on who has done this crime, if that makes any sense. So how, and it's interesting of how are we able to even combat that part of it as well?
Well, I guess my job on the jury is to basically determine based on the evidence if someone is guilty or not. And, if that person on trial, if I don't believe that they're guilty based on the evidence presented, then we have to say not guilty. I just feel there are cases that I followed, and I'm just like, based on what was reported, at least, because having been in a court case, not everything that you read in the news or hear in the news is actually what took place. We have a lot of comments to go through. Debelia says, it's our civic duty in the community that should be diverse and reflect an unbiased as much as possible outcome, in my opinion. I agree. Sheikah Rena and Renee Sherilyn Simmons for you, Sherry.
If you work hourly, you may not be prepared financially to serve on jury and not have an income for weeks, sometimes longer.
Yes, that is a situation that must be understood. It's not like the conscription where they pay you or whatnot, or they're supposed to by law.
I thought so. I've served on jury on 4 cases, all very difficult, but one was extremely difficult as it involved an underage female. Each time I was picked, I did my civil duty and was told I would not be called again in my lifetime. Yeah.
And again, you gotta have the stomach to deal with some of these. Traveling Trotty says, how many people on the show today have been called for jury duty? Well, that's a good question. And let's ask. Traveling Trotty is asking, yes or no? Have you been called for jury duty? Not whether you serve. Have you been called? Answer that question. I haven't. I haven't.
They would strike me as soon as they walk in.
James Birch says, yep, never been called, and people are called multiple times. Deborah Leah says, served an excuse for life because of the intensity of the case that I served. Rachel Dill says, I've been called 4 times. Wow. Kivane Haynes says, yes, would be interesting poll by age as well. And Sam Ketley says, I've not been called. I'm not sure if I want to, as I won't know what I'll be.
It'll be
okay. David Michael R. Wilson says, called 3 times, served twice, which were quite lengthy over 2 months. Interesting. Hadeline Stevenson Swan says, I've been called for jury duty, and initially I was excited as I was off from work for 2 weeks. However, knowing that someone's life was in our hands, that part was not cool at all. Yes, that it's a huge responsibility, folks. Sam Cat Play says, makes you also wonder what information they look at on jurors. Renee Dill, says, I have been called twice, selected once, and the second time I had to retract because my time in between time served on jury duty and being called again, I could not serve again. Interesting. So it looks like we've had a lot of no's as far as whether people have served or not. We have a yes, nope. Yes, so it looks like more no's than yeses. Nicole Walker says, you do get compensated for jury duty here, but I know some who have served waited months for the pay. Oh, well, it's government, isn't it? Shots. Yes, no. So it looks like an interesting balance. Well, look, we've got to move on, but I'll say this, folks. As stated, jury duty is a responsibility that we have, not just for, ourselves, but our community. Not everyone, and hear me when I say this, not everyone who goes through court, through the system, is guilty of the crime they're being charged with. And not everyone who goes through the system is innocent or not guilty of the crime. But we need each other. We need one another. We need responsible citizens to assist in making those decisions. Let's bring Leanna in. And folks, make sure you share that link. We have the entertainer. We have Mr. Fotogenik. And I'm going to say it before you all say it. I know I called him out last week, and I know some of you all are like, well, he did. So last week, what was it, Sherry? I was like,
the raccoon.
The raccoon. I said, hold on. It's been 24 hours, and we don't have a meme. Mr. Fotogenik hasn't given us anything about the raccoon. And then everybody in the audience yelling at me, yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yeah. All right, Cousins backstage has coming through hot enough, you folks. It's coming through hot enough, you. Let's bring Leanna in. Lee, good morning, sister. Again,
good morning. I just want to get the news done so we could get to this today's daily focus. I just want to speed through this.
Well. Before you speed through it, Lee, you gotta let us know. What have you served on a jury before?
I have not.
Okay.
Not yet.
I think they will reject you. I think they would because you're a journalist. You're in the news.
Yeah, I will never get a chance to serve on jury.
Social worker, journalist.
Yeah, police officer,
Jamal.
customs.
Yeah.
They'll shoot me down. Nope. We seeing what you've typed online, young man. But yeah. All right, Lee, let's get to your news break. And see you after that.
Thanks, Jamel and Sherry, and good morning again to those of you who are tuned in with us this morning. We hope you all survived the torrential downpour yesterday and having a great start to a more bright and sunny day. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for the Daily Hour News Break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. In today's top stories, 603 new cases were recorded in the latest test results. It was revealed by health officials last night, increasing the island's total number of cases to 1,953. Now, there are now 13 people in hospital with the coronavirus and 2 of them in intensive care. Bermuda's positivity rate now stands at 10%, with the total confirmed cases during the entire pandemic now exceeding 9,000. Figures have shown that the Omicron variant of the coronavirus has dominated the 5th outbreak on the island. Meanwhile, the booster vaccine is now available to anyone 12 or older who has had their second COVID vaccination dose a minimum of 6 months ago. Now, in releasing yesterday's test results, a government spokesperson said that the Ministry of Health advises that children 12 and above can receive a booster if it has been 6 months from their last dose. Anyone wishing a booster vaccine can book an appointment on the gov.bm website. Now, as far as vaccinations for younger children go, there might be an announcement on that as early as this week. In other news, police have a 31-year-old man in custody after he was found to be flying a drone that was apparently carrying drugs and was intercepted by staff at Westgate Prison. A police spokesperson said that the police drugs unit and tactical support division were called in the aerial drone called in after the aerial drone breached the perimeter defenses of the prison. The spokesman added, upon inspection of the drone by corrections officers, several high-risk articles were identified and seized. The man was arrested in relation to this matter, and a Pembroke residence was searched. No further information on what the drone was carrying was released. Detective Chief Inspector Sharon Joseph, head of the Services Specialist Investigations Department, said that an attempt to smuggle prohibited or high-risk items into a prison was illegal, and offenders could face up to 3 years in prison if convicted. And it was a race for the clock that nearly took officers out. Police had a narrow escape just before the start of curfew this morning when a driver clocked at 103 kilometers per hour or 64 miles per hour just missed 3 officers at a traffic stop. The driver failed to stop for police at a stop in Warwick at 12:25 a.m., 5 minutes before the curfew kicked in. Now, Chief Inspector Robert Cardwell, head of the Tactical Support Unit, said drivers were still trying to beat the 12:30 a.m. to 5 a.m. curfew. Now, typically, he said it's during that last half hour from midnight to 12:30 a.m. when the speeds increase. That's also when police are called to collisions as a result. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 68 and a low near 59 degrees. Today, we'll see sunny breaks with a few showers, but it will get brighter by the afternoon. Now, as the low lifts to the north, winds will gradually veer northwest and sporadic showers will dampen us at times. High pressure will quickly build in thereafter to develop settled conditions. Through midweek, towards the end or towards the weekend, another front looms with wet weather on the horizon. And that's all for our daily hour news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. But before we go, here's a little helpful tip from your favorite community pharmacist. Did you know the original version of peanut butter was invented by a pharmacist? Marcellus Gilmore Edson invented peanut butter paste to help patients swallow their pills. Well, in 2022, Peoples can offer you several helpful methods for taking your medications. Did you know that they can even add flavor to your child's medicine or yours for that matter to make it more palatable? Reach out to them at info@peoples.bm for more information. Now let's head back to Jamal and Sherry in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
All right, Lee, you got a letter for us today?
I do. I was just about to say, Jamal, what are you talking about? I do. My letter that I'm going to give to the public is the letter A for Apple, or as in Apple. A.
All right, folks, you've got a letter from Liana today. A for Apple. Quick apology. I've gotten quite a few texts, that you can't hear us on the radio station. Apologies. Unfortunately, I don't have the equipment with me in Bermuda this trip. So everyone on
Oh,
radio, you will have to tune in on YouTube or Facebook. So apologies for that. Sherry, what day of the year is it for us?
today is January 18th, and what's going on today is Gourmet Coffee Day.
Oh,
Ooh.
Is
what's
everyone excited?
what's
Well, all
gourmet
kinds
coffee?
of coffee. Well, all kinds, I'm about to tell you, all kinds of coffee are what dreams are made of. Gourmet is something exceptional. The quality and consistency of gourmet coffee are distinct from a regular cup of Joe. So it has to be 100% Arabica. I think I pronounced it right, beans. And
Oh,
these are require a cool subtropical climate at a higher altitude, and they thrive to provide smooth, powerful, and aromatic brews. So when
oh.
you go
Ooh,
today, you tell them you want
fancy.
gourmet coffee. Do you drink coffee, Lee?
I do, but I've actually given it a slight hiatus for dry January. I don't know.
Try
I'm
January coffee.
real quick. So what organic like vegetables and fruits be like similar to gourmet coffee? Like I don't understand.
Yes.
To a certain degree, Jamal, this is a particular bean
Oh.
that
Mm.
is would be considered to be in the gourmet coffee
Oh.
side.
On that note, I'm just going to take my
Yeah.
confused ass on. Lee, we'll see you
Saturday.
tomorrow. Have a great one. Oh, sorry, Friday. We'll see you Friday.
Friday, yes.
All righty.
Friday.
Talk soon. All righty, folks. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with Mr. Photogenic. Sherry, can you try to be serious today? You're always laughing and joking. It's a serious show. All right?
I am so excited about this.
Yeah, let's go. We'll be right back, folks. Stick with us.
Are you a small business or organization looking for new ways to reach a greater audience? Well, here's your chance to get your ad on BTG Radio, Good Day Bermuda, and Bermuda's daily talk show, The Daily Hour. Send an email to contact@bermudacommunications.com.
We're featuring a true frequent flyer this month, Bragg Live Food Products. Paul Bragg was the man behind the products, and during his lifetime originated health food stores and promoted nutrition education throughout the media, helping us make healthful choices when we shop for and prepare food. Best known for his live cider vinegar, Bragg also brings us a variety of super nutritious and flavorful foods and condiments. Try the star product that helped launch the entire enterprise, Bragg Raw Unfiltered Apple Cider Vinegar. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dandytown Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
All right, welcome back to the big show. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Without further ado, let's bring in our guest for the day, Mr. Photogenic. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How you doing?
We're good. We're good. So I'm sure you heard backstage, right? Some people were coming at me a bit last week, and I'm a relatively nice guy, despite what they say about me, right? And I didn't call you out in a bad way. I just simply said, well, we don't even have anything from Mr. Photogenic, because you usually give us something within a few hours. I mean, 24 hours max. And it was involving a raccoon that came without his travel authorization.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I was actually watching the show because when I got in contact with
Shanta.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, when I got in contact with her, she told me to check out the show, so I checked it out, and I was watching that episode, and I was saying, oh yeah, he's talking about I didn't do it, but then I saw someone in the thing say, yeah, he did that yesterday. It's like, oh well, I wasn't watching. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back and look at it. I'm saying, yeah. I definitely did that one.
Yeah. My apologies. It'll never happen again. Never happen again. But look, let's get into the conversation. You've been okay. So, cousin, we've got some people saying your volume's a bit low.
Let me turn me on.
Yeah.
Check 1 2 check.
Yeah.
Check,
Boom.
check.
Boom. There we
That's
go.
good right there.
There we go.
Okay.
You're live now.
Yeah.
There we go. Hey, look.
I'm got some sound effects. You know what I mean? So I'm just.
See, I didn't.
I want my own.
I see, folks. Look, I didn't need to bring my sound effects board today. Cousin board, yes.
Oh yeah. I made sure that I set myself all right. You know.
That's what we're talking about. Bring it on. So look, let's talk. You've given so many people laughs and smiles in some of our toughest days. You know, the last 2 years have been rough.
Yeah.
How does it make you feel knowing how you've made others feel?
Well, you know what? It really makes me feel good, to be honest, because like I started doing it just to make fun, and then people loved it so much, and I'm like, yo, Sean, you got to keep on doing this, because if it wasn't for you, like I would be so angry about everything right now, but like I help lighten the mood of different situations, and I just did it for fun, and I'm just happy that everybody is enjoying it though.
And we've got a few people saying it's still low. You're still a bit low.
What?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
What?
Check.
Yeah.
How about this here?
Oh yeah,
That's better.
Yeah. It's headed. Yeah. All right.
Because when we talked earlier, you didn't let me know that we was low or not. So
Yeah, it sounded good to me.
it sounded good.
Yeah.
Let me just make sure I'm a little up a little higher now.
Yeah. You don't want to be louder than Sherry.
Okay. How about now?
Yeah.
That's cool. All right. Cool. Coming in hot. So we straight. All right.
So, how did you get to the point where people literally expect a new video from you when something happens in Bermuda, like a raccoon?
Man, I guess just me being consistent with the videos. When something happens and me jumping on it, to whereas people be like, oh yeah, something's gonna happen. Sean's definitely gotta jump on it, because I cannot. If I get a video sent to me like numerous times, I'm like, okay, I'm gotta do this like right now because everybody wants it. But sometimes I have videos that no one knows about because people send them to me directly, you know? And those are the ones that I really like to do because it's like a real surprise for people. Instead of those ones that people expect me to do.
Yeah. One of my favorites was Abby's, just so you know. This one of those unexpected ones.
We're getting some feedback. The echo on your end.
I'm getting okay.
Yeah.
You know what? All right, I know what the problem is now. Cheers.
All right, we'll go it. No, still echo.
How about now?
Testing 1 2.
Check. You hear me?
We're good. Yep.
Yeah, that's because the mic's coming right through or whatever. That's probably why. I'm so sorry.
No
because
worries.
I had it so I could hear these sound effects, but I can't hear these sound effects now. But it's all good.
We'll be able to hear them. Go ahead.
Yeah.
That's so Bermudians are some of the most difficult people to please.
Uh-huh.
How have you managed to do it thus far and for so long that that we're excited about it?
To be honest, I don't know. It's just like I guess I found the formula, what people like. And I'm just been sticking with that. That's the only thing I can say, because to be honest, the first video I done, not the first video, but one of the first videos that kind of went viral was the Humberto one, where I was acting like I was talking to Belko on the phone. I don't know if you guys remember that one. And then I was saying that my lights were out, and then they told me that I didn't pay my bill. That one was just me just messing around, and people actually liked it. So I'm like, okay, so let me just continue doing this. And that's when I started, I guess doing it more often.
I think you found the formula in the blue cooler.
Oh gosh. Yeah, and you know what? Let me tell you about that. Now, I only wrote that song to do a comedy set for Wednesday Night Vibes. So after I performed it, people were like, yo, Sean, you gotta record this. So look, I did the song. I performed the song on Wednesday. I recorded it on Friday. I shot the video on Saturday, and then I dropped it like on the Monday morning. That's how quick everything went. And then I shot it with my phone with an app that made it look like VHS. So a lot of people looked at it and they didn't realize that it was me because they can't really tell because it's not that clear.
It was hilarious. It was
Yeah.
hilarious. Who are some of the comedians and entertainers locally and internationally that have inspired you?
Okay, well, I definitely got to say Bootsy for one, for sure, because I just remember watching him when I was younger at his plays and stuff and all that there. Now, to this day, I would say definitely Firewind and King Sumner, because there's he wants to kind of push me to be, I guess, more or less like a stand-up comedian, because doing videos is so much different from that. It's a whole different beast. But that got me, kind of teaching me how to go about it. And I definitely shout out to them for that. Oh, and the Dungeon and Jar, of course. Oh, you know who else I really like? I like my old teacher, Jonathan Young. I don't know if you guys know Jonathan Young. He was this guy is hilarious. And the guy Eddie G is wicked too.
Yeah.
To be honest, we got a lot of wicked comedians here, and you don't know until you go to like one of the shows where the featured one, because you don't really hear about them outside of that.
Yeah, it's just pretty cool that you have been able to merge all your talents. I know you and I worked together for a wedding at one point, and so
Yes.
to see you in two different realms is awesome. In this next realm, at Christmas time, I was part of a Secret Santa, and someone handed the person a Christmas card, and when they opened it, and it was your voice, I fell out. Like,
Oh
how
my
did
gosh.
that whole situation? I was like, brilliant. This is like, so how did that all come together?
Well, you know what? I had thought about the idea back in maybe like around cut match time. I'm like, okay, what can I do coming up? Because it's like I was thinking about doing like the whole merch and clothing stuff, but I'm like, I don't really want to get into that because there's a lot of people that's doing different type of merch. I said, let me do something different that's gonna be like where I'm gonna be in my own lane. So then I'm like, okay, let me do Christmas cards, like musical ones with my voice in them. That would kill it. Like people will be like not even expecting it. So I started designing it, and then I went in the studio to record what you heard. I sent it to the people, gave them the design, and they sent me back a sample. And then I said, yeah, there's the ones I want. And they all went with like that week of Christmas. That's when I saw my last one, and all of them went. People hit me up even after Christmas, asked me if I had any. I'm like, no, they're going. Sorry.
Shout out to Damon Hanley, who was part of that. That was
okay.
So
Yes.
We've got some questions, and we'll get to the audience in a few. But we've seen you do a couple of commercials for people,
right?
And you've hosted some events. I believe
yes.
BDC event comes to mind for me.
Yes.
How far would you like to see your comedy take you, your entertainment take, and the whole industry? How far do you want to go with this?
Well, if possibly like my own show, or definitely a movie. Like right now, I want to start working on like a short film right now, so I can give the people something, because a lot of people have been asking for different things. So I'm like, let me try to write something, because I've written scripts and stuff for commercials, but never for something that's like really long. So that's going to be a task I'm doing. So I'm trying to, right now I'm just working on the character building. And then once I start that, then I can start, once I finish that, I can start writing the script for it and hopefully have something, but definitely a TV show or something. Cause you know what I really want to do? I want to do like a live commentation type show. So almost kind of like American's Most Funny videos type show, but live with people, and they get them send me the footage and stuff beforehand, and I'll commentate right there and then.
You are so excited. It's so good.
When the pandemic started, right? Look, even to now, you've got people arguing and fighting over the vaccine, over the pandemic, and this and that.
Right.
And then there's you. You have yourself, you have Sumner and Wayne. Wayne and Rusty G dropped the song as well.
Yeah.
The Dunn just started doing Sunday, the backyard party. You guys are doing things and fulfilling a need, right? And I think as we talk about business and growth, starting a business is all about fulfilling a need.
Yeah.
I want to say this to you, person to person, that I come across social media and I see people complaining so often about I can't find work. I can't do this, I can't do that, there's no opportunities. What would you say to someone? Because what you did was you took what you have, your talent, and created opportunity for you. What would you tell someone who is looking for an opportunity that may have talent or the ability to do something on themselves? Like what advice would you give them?
Oh my gosh. Well, my thing is, if you have a talent, just try to figure out how you can make money from it. Basically, because a lot of people are talented out there. A lot of people are doing different things or know how to do different things, but they don't know how to, I guess, make it into a business. And then just find your little niche and then just run with it. And then try to do something different from everybody else. That's another thing. You don't want to be in the same. You don't want. Well, I don't want to say you don't want to be in a competition, but if you're the first one to do it, it's basically you and everybody else under you. You know what I mean? So everybody looks at you. Well, if you're the first one to do it right, you got to do it right. You can't do it half. You know what I mean? You got to do it right. Yeah. But that's what I would say.
Yeah, I know. At the beginning of the pandemic, I follow a lot of social media comedians. Like Country Wayne is number one for me with his skits. Right.
Okay. Right. But
Mike X was on the Breakfast Club, and he basically complained about internet comedians, as he said.
Okay.
Right. I guess he feels like back in the day, but they had to go in clubs and get booed and stuff thrown at him, where he feels it. Do you think your path is easier than theirs? Or do you think, no, this is just a sign of the times? And I'll give you an example. Sherry and I are here right now doing the show. Before, you needed $20,000, $100,000 to do a show like this. You need to a studio and this and that. Or do you just think, no, this is a sign of the times and we have to create our own opportunities with what we have?
I think it's just a sign of the times. And you just gotta move with the times, because if you are gonna be stuck into like the way we did things in the 90s, then you're not really gonna grow. Basically, you know what I mean? So I follow Mike too, and I see him doing like the internet stuff as well. But I guess it has made it easier because you're able to reach so many people by just being at home. Because right now I'm got like followers from the States, followers from Jamaica, and even a lot of people that are her that aren't Bermudian that follow me and like my stuff. So that's when people come up to me and say, people that I don't know and people that's not Bermudian that come up to me and say, yo, I love what you do, whatever. I'm like, okay, wow, this is really big. Because really, I'm very humble, and I'm not big-headed or whatever, so I don't really see myself as this big star, but people always push me up there like, yeah, Sean, you're doing it. I'm like, well, am I really? I guess I am, People like my stuff, so I guess I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
That makes it even better.
Mark Arthur C. Phillips is asking, has any of the MPs sent you messages about your videos?
Okay, well, let me tell you this here. So look, this is after I did it wasn't the low level Bratty one. It was, which one I done? Oh, it wasn't me. After I did it wasn't me, right? So people were saying, yo, bro, government's coming after you, right? I'm like, bro, look, it's all fun and games. Everybody's cool. So I get this WhatsApp message, and it was saying, hey, Sean or something. And I was like, I ain't got this number saved on my phone. I looked at the picture, and it's David Brett. So I'm like, DB? And he's like, yeah, I see ain't got. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm in trouble now. But basically he was like, yo, Sean, I've been laughing at this video all day, man. Hey, I like what you do. And basically he was bigging me up for it. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not in trouble now. I'm cool. I was like, yo, bro, don't worry. I won't step on your toes too much. I'll give you I'll cut you some slack,
Well, you know what? That's when I remember when George Bush the second was president, and I mean he was the butt of every late night talk show joke, right? Like Jimmy Fallon, all those guys, Jay Leno back then. I mean their whole opening monologue was jokes about him, right?
Right.
It died a bit when Barack Obama was president, but then when Donald Trump became president, I mean,
oh my dear,
to another level. So
yeah, definitely.
I always used to say with Teo in the morning, I used to say, at the end of the day, when you enter politics, it's fair game. But as Sherry mentioned earlier, Bermudians are a tough crowd, but Bermudian politicians, they're very soft in terms of feelings. And so it's almost like this thin line. Like they at least back then felt like, oh, you can't say that about us. We're esteemed fellows. So it's nice to hear that David Burt was laughing with you and found that funny, because trust me, even he needs to laugh based on the pressure that he's been under. No,
definitely.
Saying that, do you have any limits? For instance, Dr. Karika Weldon last week, there was something with her and the minister Kim Wilson and so on. What limit? Some comedians have no limits. Do you have limits? Like, oh, I'm not going to touch that if someone sends you something.
No, seriously, I do have limits. Like, I don't like. I always look at videos. I'm like, are people going to really be offended by this? And I'm like, if too many people, I feel like too many people's going to be offended by it. I'm like, nah, I don't want to stop on it, because I just want to. I really want to create like fun and laughter. I don't want to step on too many people's toes. Like, I like to make fun of this and that, but I try to bring it back down, because I have got a lot of videos from different people, and I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. Because then I always think of the consequences afterwards. I don't want people to come up to me like, yo, bro, you did this video about me. I'm like, no. So most of the videos that I do with people, they come from the source, and I always ask first, like, yo, what's going on with this? Like, this is cool, because I don't really want to do this, and I have problems with this later, and I'm gonna take it down, or anybody coming up to me, like, because I try to stay clear of any trouble, basically.
Well, no, honestly. And it's all about respect, I think. You know what I'm saying? Respect, and you don't need to go there. Like, your brand of comedy is very unique, and I don't think you need to. And I think I'll use Kevin Hart as an example. I don't necessarily find Kevin Hart funny, but I think because you have some comedians like a Richard Pryor who may take on certain issues, people expect that of like a Kevin Hart and others, and people don't understand there's different brands of comedy. So I appreciate you explaining that. Sam Cat Places asking, how do you choose which voiceover you do? The GOAT one was hilarious. Switch reminded me of Donkey and Shrek.
Hey, the thing is, people send me stuff like, and I try to look at the video, and I try to say, okay, I brainstorm about it first, and I'm like, is this one gonna be good? And then if I start like write my rhymes or whatever, and I'm like, okay, this is one, I'm gonna run with that. If stuff pops off, like when I'm watching the video in the first like 10 minutes, I'm like, okay, y'all, this is the one. I'm gonna run with this one. And that's what happened with that GOAT one. So a couple of people had sent it to me, and I'm like, yeah, I think I need to do this, sir. I need to do this one.
I just love that you basically you say what everybody's thinking. It's just like, okay, that's the beauty of it.
And I think that's what it is. Just me understanding like the whole Bermuda culture, right? And knowing how people think, because you don't realize, I guess before you do, you don't realize that everybody's thinking that way. But like, I think Bermudians and even people like wired the same. So most times, if you're thinking something, like 10, 20 other people are thinking the exact same thing. So just go with that.
Florida took me out when you was like looking good. I died.
Yeah,
that's what we do, right?
That's what we do. It's a party culture. That's the thing that we've been doing for May 24th for I don't know how long. You know what I mean? I just know from when I was young to now, everybody's be saying that. When everybody's running fast. Yeah, looking good. Yeah,
looking good, cousin. All right,
looking good.
Coming in hot.
So, okay. I know I've seen some things on the internet where some people just don't understand the comedy because the accent, right?
Right.
What's your plan to grow beyond Bermuda? Like, is it a plan to grow beyond Bermuda, in the Caribbean at least, or in the US to kind of get some jobs outside of Bermuda?
I would say yeah, but you know what? Let me tell you this. Like, because I have my Twitter, I have my Instagram, I have my YouTube, but I haven't really been posting on YouTube like that. But I'm gonna start doing that more often. But on my TikTok, for some reason, I have a big following in Jamaica. I still don't understand. I know if it's something to do with Digistyle and Digistyle connected with Jamaica. I don't know what it is, but I've got a lot of followers from Jamaica, and it really baffles me. But I'm like, okay, well, I see people commenting, I see people liking. So I'm like, okay, well, people understand me, but I know I have did a video where it's like that strong Bermuda accent, and people's like, "What the heck is he saying?" I'm seeing it on TikTok. What is he saying? And other people were liking it, so I'm like, okay, well, they don't get it. But I guess my whole push is just to bring the whole Bermuda culture to the world, because a lot of people connected her. You got tourists that have been here. And that's what I find. People that like my stuff are other people that's been to Bermuda or have connections with Bermuda. Or like Bermudians that are sending it to their friends that have connections with Bermuda. Because people get it.
I'm going to tell you what I really, truly love about what you're doing. People throw out the word authenticity, but I don't think I have come across a more authentic person over the last couple of years than you. Why? I have a problem when people move to a new jurisdiction and all of a sudden they pick up this new accent. Shara's been in the US longer than me, and I've been in her all but 3 years for 20 years, right?
Right.
I'm Bermudian as ever. The fact that like you stay true to who you are through what you're doing is something that we have not ever really been used to. I know Nadunja, when he was on Def Comedy, I think it was Comic View or something like that. He was the first time I saw a Bermudian out there that's talk about the flip-flops, kept his Bermudian accent. I love that about you, man. And I feel like when you take that next step, I hope that they appreciate you, because I think Jamaicans, man, they do a great job of remaining who they are for the most part. And I think we as Bermudians need to be comfortable doing the same. And I think with you, what you're doing, it's adding to that. You're giving us hope that we can be ourselves and not just be accepted, but be rewarded as we do our things. So, brother, it's been a pleasure having you. Real quickly,
what's up?
Somebody did ask about your YouTube channel, and you mentioned it. But what I want to say is, if we send you a couple of memes, because Sherry makes a boo-boo here and there.
Oh, right.
The show, right?
Right.
You can make a channel all about Sherry.
Oh, about Sherry, just all about Sherry?
No, I'm telling you, man.
Sure,
Sherry,
remember we have a good relationship, right? Remember we worked well together some years ago.
Yes.
Don't worry about the past. I'm just letting you know I'm gonna be sending you stuff. But look, Mr. Fotogenik, thank you for what you do, not just for our entertainment, but for the community as well, giving people hope, giving people laughs and smiles in a time when we've been down and out. What having a service for my mom this week, and trust me, watching some of your stuff has helped me get through it, just going back and laughing. That's why I was looking for the raccoon, right?
Oh, right.
You've helped this community through some tough times. Thank you, and please let us know what we can do to keep pushing what you do.
Oh, just keep on sending me the footage, baby. Keep on sending me all that footage. Like, anything that happens, well, as long as it's like somebody that's cool with you, because don't be sending me no footage of somebody you don't like, because then I'm not getting do it. I'm not getting do it. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to add no view to that type of file.
No,
you know?
Sir.
Yeah.
No, sir. Where can people, obviously, it's still a pandemic and rules in place, but outside of social media, do you have anything coming up where people can catch you live?
Oh man, not right now, to be honest. Not right now. Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about it, because nothing really happening right now, you know, because like the whole corona and everything. So it's like, not right now. But I guess probably Wednesday Night Vibe. Okay. I'm not sure if it's the next one I'll be doing, because I don't even know if when's the next one's gonna be coming out, but that would probably be the next thing that you would see me at another Wednesday Night Vibe, and doing a little stand up.
Follow the brother on social media, folks. Mr. Fotogenik, go ahead.
Oh, I forgot to tell you this. You mentioned Rusty G earlier. Me and Rusty has got this song coming out. Now, originally I was it's like a soca crossover type song. Originally I was gonna do it like in like an island voice, but then island accent. But then Rusty was like, "Bro, you should probably try the Bermudian." I'm like, okay. So then I tried it, which was actually very difficult. I'm gonna let you guys know, being Bermudian in a song is very difficult. You gotta really think about it, because you're training yourself to be somebody else, right? Because you do reggae, whatever. You train yourself to do like sound like yard or whatever, or you do rap. You train yourself to sound American. But then when you're doing it in the Bermudian accent, it feels so unnatural. But when I tell you this song is nice, and I think everybody's gonna like it, just because it's got a little comedy aspect to it as well. But I feel like people's gonna really like it, and that's what we're getting guys to be dropping in the next few months. Next few months. Like it should definitely before like summer, it should be dropping.
Mr. Fotogenik, we're looking forward to it, brother.
Yeah.
Send it through.
Yeah, we'll do. We'll do.
Thanks again.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks, babe.
Coming through hot. Mr. Fotogenik, folks, make sure you go follow that brother on social media, doing his thing, keeping us smiling and laughing even through these hard times. We're going to take a quick break, come back, wrap it up. We have one more letter to give you for your chance to win $500. Don't go anywhere.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
Man, thank you so much and welcome back. Thanks again. If you enjoyed that conversation with Mr. Photo, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. You know how we appreciate you. Thanks again to People's Pharmacy, One Communications, Medical House, and Lindos for ensuring we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. Sherry, quick wrap up before we get to the Daily Play. Thoughts on today's show?
Definitely register yourself to vote so that you can be a part of some possible solutions as it comes to being placed on jury duty. Understand that one does affect the other. So we definitely want to put ourselves in places that we can be helpful. In addition to Mr. Fotogenik, I mean, what is there to say? He is just hilarious. He is what the island needs. And I just love his authenticity. And I wish him the best and continued success beyond Bermuda as well.
Yeah, I agree with you, folks. If you have a chance to serve on a jury, please take it up. Your community needs it. This is not about letting the guilty off or it's about the innocent walking. It's about fairness. It's literally about fairness. And we can only get a fair shot if we give ourselves a chance to get one. Mr. Fotogenik, I tell no lies. I am grateful for the work that it's doing. I say it all the time, folks. Doing it's not easy, As Sherry asked the question, like Bermudians, we are a hard bunch to please. And the fact that he is continuously consistent in trying to make us feel better about ourselves, I thank him and appreciate him for that. Here's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Great taste, no alcohol. Sherry, are you ready?
I almost forgot about that. Go ahead.
All right. Anyone guess the answer before Sherry? We're going to give you a mug. We're going to give you a Daily Hour mug. It's a remember when. What is the actual date of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday? And how old would he have turned this year?
It's definitely January 16th. That's bad, isn't it? No? And I don't know how old he would have been.
Anyone for a Daily Hour mug? Anyone for a Daily Hour mug? Who's got this?
I think it's actually because yesterday was I think it's actually January 16th, not the 17th. We just celebrated it on the Monday.
Anyone tell me? Oh, look at that. Mama Patterson got it.
Oh.
It is January 15th. And
Aisha
says 93 years old. Yeah. So we've got 93. We've got January 15th. So the answer is Dr. Martin Luther King was born in 1929 on the 15th of January. He would have turned 93 this year. All right. Any daily inspiration for us, Sherry?
Yes. It's not the load that breaks you down. It's the way you carry it. Okay? Lena Horne.
You carry it. I
it's
appreciate
the way you
that.
Carry it. Yeah.
We appreciate that. Thank you, folks. Yes, they're still coming through. January 15th,
All right,
93.
all right,
That's them,
mama.
not me. That's them, not me.
My
Thanks
mama. We'll
again
have
to
to
our
try to
partners,
shimmy up.
Medical House, One Communications, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we will be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamal Hartman. Sorry, we won't be back tomorrow. We'll be back Friday with Teacher of the Year, Dean Fogo. Folks, if you haven't already, make sure that you go on our website and subscribe, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got to go. Make it a great and safe day. We'll see you on Friday. Oh, the second letter. That is a good. Thank you. The second letter for today, before we go. Yes, thank you. I did forget. It's going to be I for igloo. I for igloo. I for igloo. All right? That's the second letter. Make it a great day, folks. Be safe.